Hi, are you wondering about the cost of living in Minneapolis, Minnesota? If so, this video is for you because that's what I'm going to talk about right now. Hi, my name is Mary Schumann. I'm a realtor in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and every week I post videos talking about all things real estate and life in the Twin Cities. Stay with me today because I'm going to talk about the cost of living in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Cost of living is measured on an index. The number 100 it means that the cost of living is on par with the national average. Well, Minneapolis, Minnesota's cost of living index number is 109. So we are more expensive than many other cities in the United States. In fact, we rank number 11 for most expensive cities in the United States. So factors that go into determining cost of living are food, utilities, taxes, transportation, healthcare costs, and housing, the biggest one. And I'm going to get to the biggest one last. So let's start with my favorite, food. I moved here from Chicago, Illinois, and I was shocked to find out that food in Minneapolis is a little bit more expensive than it is in Chicago. I didn't think things were more expensive here than Chicago. But food in Minneapolis is about 5% more expensive than the national average. And this is when you compare like apples to apples. So that was a pun. So behind me, you'll see prices for staple items like bread, milk, and eggs. And you can compare that to where you live right now. By the way, I don't drink Heineken, but that was the example that they gave. And I guess maybe that's like a mid-level import beer. But you should try the craft beers here. There's a lot of them, and they're good. Okay, transportation costs. If you're commuting for work and you're concerned about gas prices, the average gas price per gallon here is $2.51 per gallon. Depending on where you're coming from, that can seem expensive or it can seem really cheap. Like I said, we moved from Chicago, so gas felt really inexpensive to us. If you're coming from California, it's really going to feel inexpensive. Your vehicle tags, those are based on an ad valorem tax. And part of what they factor into that is the age of the car. So the minimum price that you'll pay for your vehicle tags is $35, and that's if you have a 10-year-old car. Don't want to drive your car, I recommend the public transit system here. It's inexpensive, $2.50 a ride, and if you're going to do it on a regular basis, you can have it taken out of your paycheck for pre-tax dollars to apply to your commute. If you are going to drive and you need to park downtown, you can use an app, and the parking rates on the meters are from $3 an hour down to $1 per hour. Something that I found charming is that they still give you holidays free at the meters here. There were no meter holidays in Chicago by the time I left. Okay, so what is less expensive? Less expensive would be utilities, which you'll be grateful for because in the winter you're going to pay a lot for heat. But on average, utility bills in Minneapolis are 1% less than the national average. Better than a sharp stick in the eye. So let's talk about taxes. National average for property taxes is $2,700 per year. In Minnesota, we're a little bit higher than that, and your taxes you should expect to be around $2,875 unless you live in Hennepin County or Minneapolis, in which case your taxes will be closer to $3,273 is the average. The people here think their property taxes are high, but again, I'm going to refer to my experience in Chicago. Well, actually, this one I'm talking about the suburbs of Chicago. We had a house that was smaller than the one that we're in now, and our taxes were about $8,600 per year. So that's Lake County, if any of you are up there. To us moving here, it sure felt like a big relief. Minnesota sales tax is 6.785%, and you can expect to pay up to 1% more in city taxes depending on which city you're in. And I will tell you that Minneapolis is not on the high end of that. So there is a small town called Grand Marais, and that has the highest city tax in the state of Minnesota. All right, so what's the good news? The good news is that there is no sales tax on clothing or food in Minneapolis or in Minnesota. Let's talk about housing prices. In Minneapolis, you can expect to pay about an average of $280,000 for a home. Average price per square foot in the Twin Cities is $147 per square foot. If you're buying in Minneapolis, that price goes up to $203 per square foot as an average. Depends on the part of Minneapolis that you're buying in. South Minneapolis can be quite a bit higher, $250 or more per square foot. And then as you get into the northern parts of Minneapolis, that price goes down. If you were looking for information on the cost of living in Minneapolis, Minnesota, I hope that this video was helpful to you. If you're moving to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and you'd like a copy of my free relocation guide, you can get a copy by clicking the link in the description below, and I'll send one right out to you. If you would like to see more videos on all things real estate and life in the Twin Cities, please hit the subscribe button below and then hit the little bell next to it, and you'll receive a notification every single time I post a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.